It is March 18th, 2021. We're here in the sewer line for the property at 4560 and 4562 Bancroft Street in San Diego, California, 92116. So what we've done is we pushed our camera all the way out through the 4562 unit, across and out to the alleyway where it connects to the city, and that's what you're looking at right here is the city sewer connection. You can see all the large pipe with the heavy volume of water flowing. That's from all the neighboring properties. So we basically passed the 4560 unit where all the plumbers are doing their work right now, and what we're going to do now is show what's going on with the system. So this is Greenbelt PVC pipe that the city contractors put in the alleyway and up part of the lateral for this property, just up to the fence line that separates essentially the alley and the fence line. So this is again 4-inch Greenbelt PVC. Now right here we're transitioning into 4-inch clay pipe, and then you can see these small roots that are in the line. So we do have roots intruding right here at this 4-inch clay pipe, you can see, and it's a very short piece of clay. And then you can see right here it's transitioning into cast iron. And then on the upper right hand side of the screen there you can see more little roots all getting in from the cast iron pipe. And on the very top of the screen, kind of hard to see, but you can see it from the shadow, that's actually the original property line cleanout. So you can see that there's kind of a pipe that opens up vertically. That's the original property line cleanout. It was never brought to surface, it was just done for the test purposes when it was constructed. So again, we do have roots intruding here. You can see them trailing along the clay pipe, and then it goes to the PVC. Now this pipe is approximately 33 inches deep or so, and we've got this marked with some chalk. So this plastic conversion is again right at the fence line essentially, where it almost meets the alleyway. We have this marked as well for the plumbers, and we'll show that. So you've got this one little foot section of clay. The roots are intruding here where the clay and the cast iron meet, and then some of the cast iron back here has it growing on the side walls. Excuse me. So this cast iron would make sense to get rid of that at this point in time because of the issues. Otherwise it's going to have to be maintained, but if you're already digging up so many feet away, it makes sense to get rid of the rest of this. So we're going to come back across this cast iron. You can see there's some water being held because of the little undulations and the buildup that's in the pipe itself. Got some debris in our camera lens on occasion here. It's going to kind of get rid of the image completely, but again, this is the cast iron that is basically in the unit here in the bathroom of the 4560 unit. So this is a shared sewer line for the 4562 and 4560, but it is not the sewer line for the very front house. So coming back across this cast iron here, you can see there's actually ABS pipe right here. So this plastic pipe right here, we're about 22 feet back from the fence, was replaced. So in the crawl space of the house, they must have replaced some of this. So we can see that right here. Again, some of this is holding some water and stuff, but there you go, a little bit better idea right there. So we're now going to back up. That appears to be a T-junction right there. Maybe that's picking up the kitchen for that unit. We're going to back up. This is all ABS. Now we have another vertical T right there, and I suspect that that's actually possibly a clean out T, but it could be dumping something else in from the unit. We're just not sure. But it is all new plastic, so that's all that really matters. So you can see this is all new black ABS plastic. So somebody went ahead and replaced all of this across here. And you can see in our distance counter here, we started at 0 and we're pulling back, so we're going negative, but we're almost to 40 feet already. So 40 feet from the fence line is getting close to where we're leaving the foundation and the crawl space area of the 4560 unit, and then coming back across the space in between the buildings, and then we're into a little bit of cast iron right here. So my guess is that this is in fact where they stopped. There's cast iron right there, it looks like, unless that's just some weird buildup on the pipe. But it looks like we're in cast again, so this might be where they didn't have an opportunity to dig and replace that. Now we're probably back under the other unit right now. So this is still the cast iron. Coming back up across here. Okay, so now we're coming back up the vertical. So where we entered from was above the bathroom of the 4562 unit. We went down through the 3-inch cast iron vent. So that's what we're pulling up right now, is vertically up. So we're going to pull the camera out to give you a sense of where we're at here. We're going to wipe off our camera lens here. So here we're on the rooftop of the unit. There's the front house. There's Bancroft Street. There's the side. This is where we went down. And then again here is the distance between the two units. There's the 4560 unit that they're working on. And there's the side, there's the back alleyway. So we basically went from 4562's rooftop here, the beginning of the sewer for this unit, from this bathroom 3-inch toilet vent. We ran across, underground, in between the units, under that entire unit to the alleyway. So we're now going to go ahead and pause and bring the camera down to the ground level to show the markings. Okay, so we moved our camera down to the ground level, so you can see here's where they're working on the 4560 unit here, digging up the sewer. And so as it goes across, here's the fence line to the alleyway. So here's our markings. The sewer obviously is opened up there. Our green line denotes the path of the sewer. So right there, that is the buried property line cleanout. That's what that stands for with that circle right there. Again, on the video when we showed that, that's where that's buried at. And then right after that's where we have those roots intruding with the circle and the X. And that's also, again, so on this, to the left side of the line and the circle, in between the circles, that's the cast iron going from there back. And there's that little piece of clay from that circle line to the next line. And then the PL denotes plastic. So you've got cast iron pipe with some crack and some roots intruding and the old buried clean out. Then it converts to clay, and that's where also the roots are intruding. Then another foot down, it converts to the plastic that the city contractor put in. So again, this is right about just under 3 feet deep under all this concrete though, and also this 4x4 pressure treated post here that was installed. So that's the pathway of the pipe, unfortunately, but that's where there's some more issues on the system. So that might need attention now rather than waiting or trying to maintain it later. So we have the front house as well, and we do have some other sewer cleanouts on the other side. We're going to move our other camera into that part of the system to show that as well. Okay, so we moved our camera over to the side unit here, side fence line. So we're still here in the back where they're doing the work at 4560. And on the side right here, you can see of the property, as you come down, look across here, we have these two sewer cleanouts. And so we'll go down the first cleanout that sweeps away from the unit. This is ABS plastic. You can see that it's holding some water here because it looks like they have a little bit of a misaligned connection. So as we look forward, you can see that there's a little bit of a misalignment between the two pieces of pipe, and that's causing the water to be dammed up and not drain out completely. So right there, we just jumped over that, but now there's some debris in our camera lens, so we'll have to push forward here. But this does appear to be cast iron still. We're going to run this all the way out. There's the Greenbelt PVC that the city contractor put in for this portion. So right now we're in water. We may be in the city line already where all the neighbors are jumping into. I'm going to push out a few feet here. Now we'll go ahead and you can see the water that's running through the system right there. We'll go ahead now and start to pull back, and we'll see that drop or that T-junction here. Okay, there's our T-drop right there. So there's the city line right there. So we basically now, this is again a separate line. So this is not the pipe that 4560 or 4562 are using. This is only for the front house, or unit 4564. So this is all the Greenbelt PVC, that's the city. This lateral line comes up. There's here's their turn, and so they didn't do as much of this one. Right here it turns, and you're basically back in the cast iron at the vertical pipe that's hanging down at about a 45-degree angle here. And then this cast iron comes up and makes the turn right there, and you can see we do have roots intruding in the system. So you can see all these roots that are hanging out in the pipe right here. So this will need to be either hydrojetted or chain knocked, but it is coming in from the cast iron. So you can see on the top of the screen, and then the bottom left and right, the roots are growing in through the cracked cast iron, which is probably part of the hub. Not so much that it's cracked, but they are invading through that leaded joint, it looks like. So this is the original property line turn right here. So you can see all these roots that are in the system. Not huge, but they're there. And we'll come back across this cast iron right here. There's the hub right there. And right here is our drop back into the plastic for these two cleanouts that were installed. So that's why we're back into water again here. So you can see there's the black ABS. And now we'll come back up out of here. Lens. Okay, so now we're going to go from the clean out that's closest to the fence, and this sweeps the way back into the property. So there's the transition immediately back into cast iron, so none of this was replaced, just the plastic was put in for the clean outs only. You can see there's a lot of scale and buildup of deposits in the cast iron, but that's normal for this age of home and age of cast iron pipe. So basically we're headed along the fence line right now. We're headed back towards the 4564 unit itself, the very front house. The line is intact, it's not cracked or broken, there's just some pockets of heavy buildup, and that's going to hold some water in certain areas as well. The people aren't home right now, so they may also run water on occasion, but this is just water being held in by, again, that little undulations of buildup in the pipe itself. Creates a little valley or a miniature, almost a sag to the system. But see, overall the cast iron's not too bad, and it's obviously functioning. Not finding any other big cracks, breaks, or roots, so that's good. So we're now getting to the point where we're getting almost past the middle unit, getting very closer to the 4564 unit here. We're over 60 feet out. Again, everything's still looking good and complete operational. A little bit of toilet paper right here we're going to be running by. Flush down the system right there. Okay, so this right here is our turn on the line, so it's kind of hard to see, but when we back up right there, we actually push that paper to this Y junction. So we actually pushed it in where there's a buried old clean out right there. So you can see right here, this is where the line, where it's coming from the left. The pipe to the right, straight ahead, is actually the dead end. It's a T, a YT that they use, and it's just a capped off end of the pipe. So we're not going to be able to probably make this T because we're too far out at almost 77 feet to make a left turn. But we have another camera on the rooftop of 4564 right now, so we're going to attempt to get that through up to this junction right here just to make sure we don't see anything else further back in the beginning of the system. So we're going to pause and move to the rooftop. Okay, so we're now on the rooftop of the 4564 unit. Here's Bancroft Street. So again, here's the 4562, and then the 60 unit past. Now they have 3-inch cast iron roof vents for the main sewer. Right here we only see one 2-inch pipe. So I don't think these were modified, but it is original galvanized pipe. So maybe they just built this with just a 2-inch. So we'll see and make sure that this is connected. And it is going to lead us into the beginning of the sewer line here. Otherwise, we won't have a way to look at the rest of the main sewer from this out to where our camera stopped off. But no, this is definitely dumping in. So right there, we're transitioning into the horizontal pipe for the main sewer. Our camera's going to kind of act up trying to make this turn right here. because hard little sweeping turn, so gonna act up on us trying to make this turn here. Yeah, it's kind of flip-flopping on us here. The sweeping turn in there is not making it very easy for us. So try to get this to maneuver the angle we need. It might take a little bit here. It's definitely going to fight us. We're going to pause the video for a second while we try to make this turn here. Okay, so we just finally got that turn made here. And we did hear the toilets flush, so we know the people used it a little bit, and that's fine, no big deal. They know we're up here doing this. It's not going to interfere with us for the most part. Okay, so now here we've got a T-junction that they use to make a 90-degree turn. So that pipe leaves and makes a turn on the system. So we're now headed, we appear to be headed towards the other fence line, but it could even be headed slightly under the other unit, but we'll see. Now here's another turn, and there's our camera. So it is a series of 90s actually that they did. So that Y junction there was a full 90, it looks like. But anyway, there is the silver spring from our other camera where we left off at that other junction going into there. So you can see there's the little sweeping turn that we mentioned on the video where it was capped off on the one end, and there's our other camera. So this line is all cast iron, but we don't find any issues with it. In fact, there's actually less buildup and stuff right here on this part of the run. You can see it's nice and circular and smooth, a little bit better than the other portion of the run, although again the other run wasn't that bad, getting all the way out to the alleyway the rest of the way. But again, this is the line for just 4564, so there's two sewer laterals here. There's one individual line that we're in right here for the front house, 4564, and then 4562 and 4560 are one shared one on their own running out to the alleyway, and that's what the plumbers right now are working on. So, just pulling back out of this vent right here. And there we go. So we're back up to the rooftop here again on the front unit. So that concludes the recording for this property.